Yeah, welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast Live, Saturday night edition. Yes. As you can see, it's myself and of course my main man G. What's good, G?
What's going on, Bruce?
Maintaining. So looks like it's gonna be the two of us kicking it with you tonight, which is that's what's up. That's my original tag team partner, so we're gonna make that happen. Looks like just one in the chat right now, so we'll wait a couple minutes to get that going, and then we got some interesting quick hits topics, so we'll touch bases on that, and then as you can see, we got some good stuff lined up for the main topics. Obviously, we're going to talk about Tua, one of the biggest topics in sports right now. Davante Adams and a ridiculous statement he made, Trae Young, and an even more ridiculous statement he made. Man, somebody got to stop these young cats, man. Take the mic away from these dudes or something. And of course, we'll finish it up talking about something I thought was really interesting. Robert Kraft and his quest to get into the Hall of Fame as a contributor, being the owner of the New England Patriots. So, we'll get to all that. G, what's good, man? You ready for these fights tonight later?
Yeah.
You watching the boxing or the UFC?
Boxing. Definitely boxing. Yeah.
I'm the same way. I can't really do the UFC that much. Like, it's cool, but I don't like it. To me, like all that ground grappling and all that, that's not interesting to me. I'm not trying to see that.
Yeah. I mean, I watched the highlights of it, right? Like the knockouts.
Right.
But it's a lot of them, man, and I haven't been following. I mean, I know some of the big names, but I haven't been really following it to say that I'm actually like a fan. I got a relative who used to fight in Shogun fights, and so I was really into it. Then he retired.
Okay.
Father Time, he's a submission master.
Oh yeah. Choking people out, and arm locking, and all that.
They train the way they train to fight, bro. Is like insane, man. Like I would definitely say I ain't gonna say they train more than a boxer, right? But you think about it, like you have to, right? Like
I agree.
Because it's it's full contact, foot, everything.
And so many different disciplines you got to try to to be sound at. Yeah, you got to do wrestling and boxing and martial arts, striking, and all this different stuff. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. That's why it's mixed martial arts, right?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I get that, and I agree with you in terms of just watching the highlights. Everybody likes to see knockouts and all that, so that's going to be what it's going to be.
I chalk it up to the microwave society that we live in, right? We want everything right now, right?
And I think though, when it comes to combat sports, everybody loves knockouts, right? Or even in football, right? We always used to love the big hits. I mean, until they started, taking away that and taking away the marketing. Like us as Ravens fans, we got to see a lot of big hits for a very long time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Every Sunday.
Yeah. Remember they had that segment on I don't know if it was on Monday Night Countdown. I think it was Jacked Up, where they show all the big hits. He got jacked up.
Hey, he took that off quick, didn't he?
Yeah. All of a sudden, when CTE and concussions and all that started really becoming an issue, and the NFL lost all that money on that lawsuit, and then also they're thinking about we got to take into account the fact that a lot of suburban mothers stopped allowing their sons to play football, because of the concern over injuries and all that. So they was like, we can't glamorize the violence of the game anymore, which realistically is what people want to see. But I get both sides of it. Definitely get both sides of it. So we got a couple in here, man. We can go ahead and get it started. But as I said, we got some interesting topics here for you tonight, as well as we got some interesting quick hits. But before we go ahead and get started actually talking about these things, you know what time it is. If you're here on YouTube and you haven't already, please make sure you go ahead, click that like, that subscribe, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept up to date whenever we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you're enjoying the content, make sure you give us that like, that 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And finally, make sure you write it down, put it in your phone, set an alarm, do whatever you got to do to remember. Saturday nights at 7 p.m. we are live here on the Format Podcast, and we'll give you the opportunity to call in, talk to us, get at me. I love it. I can't wait.
Let me take this call. There was pulled in the street.
Hold on, let me take this call. What's up, Dominque? Hello?
Hey, Bruce.
What's up, Dominque?
You guys are still live, right? I'm not crazy, right?
Yeah, we're live. What's going on, Dom?
We wild.
How are you guys doing?
We're doing good. We're doing well. Thank you.
I had to call in because I'm seeing a bunch of comments. I'm listening to you guys talk about Tyreek Hill and the police. And, you know, I agree with G on this. Black people are not supposed to be dumb. We shouldn't have to play dumb and be humble to not be beaten by the police. I just like what someone should have done and could have done. What if he was drunk? What if he's mentally ill? What if he's a drug addict?
He being Tyreek?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So like, you know, and because he's acting out, he's like, police are trained professionals. So in their training, why don't they treat everybody the same? So if it was fair and equitable, and if white people and if, you know, all different kinds of people were getting treated the same, then that's another story, right? But for some reason, there's a problem that the police have with Black people. And we need to stop excusing that problem that they have with Black people.
Does that mean, unfortunately, that in many cases, Black people, you know what? I'll say this. You asked the question, why don't they treat everyone the same? Because realistically, that's not humanity. It's not human nature to treat everyone the same. It's just not. Would that be ideal? Yes. And am I excusing it? No. But it's also not humanity.
You
like
are excusing
that doesn't
it.
happen.
When you say that that's not humanity, like that's not it. That's not an answer. The police are trained and they have a job to do, to protect and serve, and they can't decide who they're going to protect and serve. They take an oath.
I get that.
Their job is to protect and serve everyone, not just white people, not just Karens, not just people that, you know, yes, sir, and no, sir, not just people like that. We're not supposed to sit there, and we don't have to be humble and play dumb to not be shot and killed by the police or dragged out of our car, thrown on the ground for really no reason. And I'm not saying that Tyreek Hill wasn't a jerk, but what happened wasn't warranted. Protocol wasn't followed. That's why the police is suspended. And we as Black people should not be on camera. Yeah. We should not be on camera sitting here blaming Tyreek Hill. And it's not just the format. It's Kwame Brown. It's a variety. It's only
I don't think nobody here is blaming Tyreek Hill.
I'm sorry, I'm still talking though. It's only in our community when we do that. It's only in our community where we sit there and blame each other when we get killed by the police. White people never do that. They come out. Do you know what's happening with Caitlin Clark right now? All those white people are protecting her. All I'm saying is we need to be together on these issues, not apart. Definitely not blaming each other, because right now, what white people do, what Jewish people do, what what Muslim people do, you know, what Indian people do, they stick together.
So I'm not going to turn this into a race thing.
Did something wrong, but it is a race thing because that's what we're talking about, though.
No. You're misunderstanding our point here.
How this happens to Black people. Well, you said that, yeah, you know, it's wrong what the police officer did, but if Tyreek Hill didn't do what he did, then none of this happened.
That is correct. That is politically correct.
If Tyreek Hill wasn't
Black,
none of it happened.
Listen, Dom, I think you're getting me confused.
Black, if he was white,
okay, you're gonna allow me to talk. You can allow us to talk.
Y'all. Hold on, let the caller
talk. Subject to response.
She going.
Yeah, but you got to be subject to response.
I was talking. If you're letting someone call in, if I was finished and I'm interrupting you speak, then that's one thing, but that's not the story here.
Oh, you do that quite often, but go ahead. I'm just trying to make the
point that white people, if Tyreek Hill was white, none of this happened.
So if Tyreek was white and he rudely answered the response of what the police officer is saying, and the police officer told him to roll his windows down, and he disobeyed a lawful order, and then they said, you know what, let's just get out of the car, and you didn't get out of the car, You're forced to get out of the car. So you think that's just not going to happen? I think that's typical protocol.
I can guarantee it's not going to happen because we have video of it. We have video evidence of white people doing the same things that black people do to the police, giving them sass, giving them attitude, going buck wild, hitting them, attacking them, and they don't wind up dead. They don't wind up brutalized on the side of the road. We don't see those videos. We see video of the police officer doing their job, being a professional and doing everything that they can, to your point, Transformer, to de-escalate, because that's their job. They're not supposed to kill us, but we wind up dead. That's all that I'm saying. And I just want us as black people to do a little bit better to make sure that we're not making excuses for this, because there is no excuse. The police have a problem with black people. That's the problem. And we shouldn't have to pretend to be something that we're not in order for that not to happen.
All right, let me.
I think, but my point is, because I think she's pointing out the fact that, we're saying, this is mainly, what you're saying, let me not get you wrong. You're saying we're blaming Tyreek for part of this?
I think that what you guys are doing is saying that all lives matter in a sense. Like, hey, this happened that was wrong, but also this happened. And when G chimed in saying what he said, I relate to that, because black people have a problem with the police and there is no excuse for it. And black people should not have to behave in a certain way, not to wind up dead by the hands of the police.
No,
we're going to commit crimes. We're going to keep stealing. We're going to keep robbing. That doesn't mean that we deserve to die over it. That's all that I'm saying. We're going to continue to have bad behavior. So because black people have bad behavior, we deserve to die at the hands of the police? No.
That's not.
It's not going to stop.
D, nobody's saying that. Well, I think, okay,
but
let's
what you
very
said
simply
was that
put,
if Tyreek
two
Hill
things
didn't
can be
give
true.
The cops that would have never happened.
Two things can be true,
It would have
Dominique.
never happened if he was white. Yes, but I need you to talk about that side and not blaming black people.
I'm not blaming black people.
Are going to have attitudes. They're going to give cops fast, but that doesn't mean they should wind up beaten up or dead.
Okay, so
that's the severity of what we're dealing with right now.
So
black people are being killed every day by the police.
So am I understanding? Yes, black people are. I addressed this on my previous pod, about the percentages and black people, black men more likely.
Talking about what Tyreek Hill did.
Because
that's what he did.
Was warranted.
Because it's a major part of the situation, and you cannot excuse that. Two things can be true.
Situation? Yes, we can exclude it when it doesn't happen to white people.
All right, that's cool.
If it happened to everybody for doing it,
so we can't educate. We can't educate. That's what you're saying. So
cause and effect is cause and effect, no matter.
You're not educating black people by telling them to be dumb and humble for the police.
No, we're telling them that there's a way that
if you want to be a little black boy.
Okay, you're just not going. She's not.
That's what you're telling people.
Let's just move on, Bruce.
Just sit there and be a good little black boy so that you don't get beaten or killed by the police.
No, Dominique, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is how I was raised and the fact that I'm a veteran. I understand situations of authority and being a subordinate. I understand that, and when you are stopped by the police, you are immediately in a position
to understand being a subordinate.
Clearly, that's not the case.
Die by the police because you gave them attitude.
Nobody's advocating that. But so listen,
do you know rolling down tinted windows is a safety protocol? Do you know that? Do you know that's a safety violation? Do you know that?
When white people don't get out of
the car,
not killed?
That's not the point.
Is the point.
Please answer the question. Mom, I asked you a question and you're stepping over when I was talking now.
It's not could you please answer the question? There was nothing that Tyreek Hill did that was a safety
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
When you have tinted windows and you're asked to be pulled over, I don't know what's inside your car. I do not know what's inside your car.
What was the officer supposed to do?
Okay, Bruce, let's just move on because I was talking and now she's interrupting me. Go ahead.
I got a question.
I think this is going too far.
I got a question.
Go ahead, G.
Going too far.
Do y'all think he was racial profiled?
Did they know he was black when they pulled him over? They couldn't have, right? Because he had the limo.
If you run the tags,
really? Because they said, "I know who you are. I know exactly who you are."
Yeah, after they ran the tags, right? When they first pulled him over, they wouldn't have known who he was, but you run the tags and you see the registration or whatever. Okay, I know who you are.
But why did he get pulled over a seatbelt, right? Seatbelt violation?
Speeding.
Yeah, speeding. It's speeding first,
speeding.
and then
They
when
said
they
he
go
was
there,
doing
he doesn't
60
have the
and
seatbelt
35,
on.
I think 60 and 35.
Because they could see in the window.
He cracked it. He cracked it a little bit, and that's when because the first thing that happens, I'm sure,
and they could see that he's black.
So I'm sure. All right, you know what, D? I think we can agree to disagree on this one.
The safety protocol of a tinted window, as an officer, right? Even in the military, if you have tint on your windows, we ask you to roll them down.
We're talking
Look,
about the police.
can I talk, please? Let me talk. I am talking. I am talking, and now you're interrupting me. Do you understand how this sounds? Now we're just going back and forth. That just sounds clownish. Can I speak? Can I speak from a professional standpoint? I served my country, and I went through the same protocol. Did you do that?
You are not an
officer. Did you do that? Did you do that? Did you act in some sort of law enforcement? You did not. So if you did not do that, then you're
Transformer. Chill. Transformer. Chill. Hold on, bro.
Bro,
so D, check this out. Hold on. So I don't know if you heard the show that I did the other day, and we're going to move on from this because
I watched your show, Bruce. That's why I'm calling in today, because we're talking about it again.
Right.
And I couldn't let it go.
That's cool. So, but what I'm going to say is
we can let this conversation go, bro.
I spent over an hour talking to a decorated member of the NYPD that I'm very cool with, and I know is a good guy. And he was able to show me the thing from the other side as well. I have family members that are police officers, law enforcement, just like you do, right? And they will all tell you that it is a safety protocol to roll down the windows.
They told me that they could do something much better. That's what my family and the police told me. They didn't tell me that Tyreek deserved that because he didn't roll down the window.
Okay, so
he told me there's a variety of other things that they could have done. And ripping him out of the car, throwing him on the ground, kicking him when he was already out of the car.
I didn't see the kick, but
that makes sense.
All right, but what we're gonna do?
Wow, I didn't know they kicked him.
I didn't see the kick, but I think we can agree to disagree on this.
That's terrible, man.
And I'll just hold to two things can be true. I'm a firm believer in that. In most cases, two things can be true. But I do appreciate the call, though, Dom. Appreciate the passion, and thank you for calling. We are going
Anytime, guys.
Appreciate you.
Happy
Have a good
Saturday.
night. No doubt.
You too.
All right. Reed was Skip Bayless.
She always put us on game. She always put me on game, dog. I didn't know they was kicking.
I didn't see.
I didn't see no video. I didn't
see that.
So that might be somebody.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and rewatch.
I saw them put the knee in the back. The knee in the back for sure. I saw that one.
And that's a soft spot in itself, right there.
Yeah. The concrete and the heat.
Yeah. All right, let's go ahead and I don't even know how we got on this. We talk about Devontae and Lamar, but
somebody called in.
Oh yeah. Oh boy,
Logan. I think it's Logan.
Yeah, Logan from Detroit. Logan. What's my man name? I think that's what's my man name? I think that's
Wolverine.
No, you idiot. No, I think that's Sabir Talib Al Haq. I think that's him. All right.